This is Berkeley CMA video series. This is CMA part 2. We are going to discuss unit 8 today. The unit name is decision analysis and risk management. Broadly, the topics that we are going to discuss in this unit is very important in terms of practical exposure. Cost, volume, profit analysis, application of CVP, marginal analysis, short-term profit maximization, decision making, price elasticity of demand, pricing, and risk management. Before we go in the deep discussion, we will give an overview of what we are going to discuss today. The first topic is cost, volume, profit analysis. Every businessman is injecting money into a business with an objective to earn profit. Profit is an accounting term which is always equal to revenues minus expenses. If your expenses are more, your revenues are less, so you are in loss. And if your revenues are more and your expenses are less, you are in profit. The basic objective of every business is the profit maximization. So you should be very much concerned about controlling the cost so you can increase your profit margins. Cost is classified into two behaviors. One is fixed cost, the other is variable cost. Fixed cost is a cost which does not change with the output. Variable cost is a cost which has direct relation with the output. Suppose if we invite 50 guests at our home, so we have to buy 50 kg chicken to serve them. But if the guests are 200, then we have to have more chicken. So means as the number of units or the guests will increase, the requirement for raw material, which is a variable cost, will also increase. So in short, fixed cost is a cost which does not change with the output. Suppose we are having a big warehouse. If we have 10 units in the warehouse or 10,000 units in the warehouse, the cost as a rent for the warehouse will remain the same. So having a CVP analysis, we have to understand that there should be a point which every investor wants to know where there is no profit and no loss. This point is called break-even point. At this point, the investor, he has invested, has recovered already. Anything above to it will be considered as his profit. In this unit, we will discuss by using a graph how to make a break-even analysis and how to show the fixed cost, variable cost, total revenue, and where the curves intersects, what is the break-even point, and which area is considered as a profit area. Then what is the application of CVP analysis? How important this is for a businessman or for an investor? This is we are going to discuss in detail. Marginal analysis. Marginal is a word which we use for the variable cost. There are two terms which is clearly, one is total costing, one is marginal costing. When we follow the school of thought of total costing, we believe that the cost is a fixed cost and a variable cost. But when we go for a marginal costing method of cost allocation, we believe that a variable cost is a cost which should be the part of a product. So in that case, we have a contribution margin. What is a contribution margin? It's equal to sales minus variable cost. And generally, when you have sales minus cost of sales, it is going to give you a gross profit, because fixed cost and variable cost both costs are involved into it. But when we are talking about only variable costing or marginal costing, we have sales, then we have variable cost. The answer will be contribution margin. So we will learn how to analyze our cost situation by using the variable cost, and in that we will use the break-even concept, which is equal to fixed cost divided by UCM, that is unit contribution margin, which is equal to sales per unit minus variable cost per unit. How to maximize the profit in short run, this is we are going to discuss, which will supplement by the decision making part. Decisions are very important for the business. Those business who take smart decisions, means specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, practical, timely. They are very successful in order to maximize the shareholder wealth. For decision making about the costing, we have to link this concept with a concept called relevant costing. Relevant costing is, we have to see that the situation and the circumstances, how it determines the cost. What is the relevant situation and any cost which should be inserted or included in the cost of the product. Generally, any cost which is conducted in the past is a sunk cost, and it is not relevant with the decision making. So in decision making, you have to see any cost which will incur in the future will be the relevant. Any cost which is done in the past is a foregone cost, we cannot include in the cost of the product. Any sunk cost which we incur is irrelevant to include in the products. Then we have price elasticity of demand. Everything in the world as a business is market driven, is a demand driven. So for making any units in the production, for calculating any cost, we have to know the demand, because if you have huge demand in the market, you can buy in bulks, so you will have low variable cost, and you can share your fixed cost by increasing your variable costing concepts. So it's very important to understand the price elasticity of demand. Elasticity is the relation, is a degree of responsiveness between quantity demanded and the percentage change in the price. It shows us the product is elastic or it's inelastic. If the product is elastic, it has great chances that the demand will affect a small change in price is going to create a big change in demand. So you have to plan your procurement, you have to plan your production in a way to save yourself from the major losses. Inelastic demand is a demand which does not change with the inelastic demand is a demand which does not change with the change in price. Any change in price is not going to affect the demand itself. So in that case, you can plan your production, your procurement, and the complete cycle from procurement to the sales in a more comprehensive, reliable, and friendly way. And then how to set the pricing is we have certain options. We can see the competitor pricing, how they are pricing their products. We can get the inspiration from them. Sometimes we have a target pricing where we say, okay, this is our cost and this much we are going to target. Sometimes we go for a cost plus some margins, whatever the cost, we add 25% on it and we sell as a pricing. Then pricing would be based on variable cost. Sometimes it is more on total costing, like fixed cost plus variable cost. Then you can put the psychological pricing. Then you can see your the territory you are working in and the kind of customers you are dealing with, what is your segment, how it should be charged. This is all is a very comprehensive study in terms of price settings. And then we are going to discuss the risk, what are the type of the risk and how to manage the risk. Risk has generally certain types. In fact, when a normal human being come on the road, you have certain kind of risk of accident is with you, risk of losing your life, risk of reducing the oxygen, risk of getting the rain. Everything is full of risk. Same way, business has certain risk. You have audit risk, you have inherent control risk, you have transaction risk, you have business failure risk. Certain risks are there associated with the business. So keeping yourself in the risk business, managing the risk is a very important portfolio for the risk manager. Risk manager nowadays in the business is a key person who identify the risk, what risk we as an organization is encountering with, and then surely he study the causes and divide into a controllable and uncontrollable risk factors, and then keep stress on how to control and how to minimize or mitigate the risk involved in the business.